What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. So this past weekend I actually did a couple different videos where I addressed additional stimulus checks that were going out. Today I'm going to even further elaborate on that and give you a bigger list of even more checks that are going out right now and some that will be going out very soon. I also am going to touch on, give you a little bit of an update on the stimulus package, where we're at right there. But just what I can tell you, things are moving extremely slow, and it's because they're, according to Democratic lawmakers, they're waiting for certain puzzle pieces to fall into place. So it could take some time, but this is time that some people just don't have. We also know, and I'm going to give you an update on this as well, that the Biden administration is going to launch the website this coming Wednesday to get your free at-home COVID tests. So I'll give you some updates on that. We also know that more than just one country are actually looking into just potentially letting COVID just run wild. Now, some say this is a big mistake. Others say this is the natural path. This is the path that we must take in order to finally fully reopen and get back to our normal lives. So I will address that in a minute as well. If you guys have any questions on any of this stuff, though, please ask your questions down in the comment section below. But let's get right to it, because there's a lot of stimulus going out. There's going to be a lot of additional help still waiting in the wings. So if you are hoping to get something, chances are you will. You just have to be patient. And I get it. Nobody wants to wait, especially when we've been waiting for months or even years. But that's currently what we're being told. So here's what I can tell you. Right now, the Biden administration, they're going to launch the website this coming Wednesday. Okay? Now, originally we thought we were only going to get 3 at-home COVID tests per person. According to a senior official, it will be 4 at-home COVID tests. Again, the website opens this Wednesday, and according to the reports, it will take about 7 to 12 days to get those to your house by using the United States Postal Service. Okay? So, if you are wanting to get some of these tests, just understand that we aren't getting just 500 million tests. We now know it's 1 billion. The White House has actually signed on to get 1 billion tests. So that's big. And I say this is big for a couple of reasons. Right now, it's very difficult to get at-home COVID tests. Very difficult. So this is going to be very helpful, but this is also a sign that we are potentially just going to move right into just letting COVID run wild. And we've actually heard this from multiple health experts. I read a report this morning that says the UK may let COVID kind of just run like the flu. That a health advisor says that this is the next natural path, is to just let it run like the flu. If we see Omicron as the main variant, maybe that's okay. But if it's Delta, absolutely not, according to experts. So it's going to depend on which variant is here to stay. Is Delta done with? We don't really have that to worry about. Or is it Delta's still there? We still need to be aware of it. But the truth is, Omicron is now the most dominant variant. So it's going to depend on where we go from here. So here's what we do know. Yeah, both experts in the UK and in the United States are all saying that we need to learn to live with COVID. This is going to be very similar to the flu. We need to learn to live with it. And we can open up, we can get back to work, and everybody will be just fine. Here's what we know, though. That just because most people will be fine, even though they do contract COVID, doesn't mean 100% of people will. That is one of the issues that we have right now, is how do we fully open back up when there's still millions of people, not just in the United States, but all over the world, that don't want to go back to work because they're worried about contracting the virus. That's a huge issue. But here's another issue. And this is one of those signs that, yes, we are learning to live with COVID. Look at this. This was a report done by Business Insider. where more patients are actually getting COVID-19 during their hospital stays. And experts worry it's because infected healthcare workers are sick on the job. And that is key because of one main reason. The CDC stated that if a healthcare worker does test positive, they have to stay home for 5 days. But if they are needed, then even though they test positive and they may have symptoms, they can still go to work. That's the big issue, is sick healthcare workers are testing positive for COVID, are symptomatic, and still going to the clinic and the hospitals because they are needed. That's a big issue. So we're going to see what happens there. But what I can tell you is many people are very, very upset by this because they are getting infected in the place where they are going to hopefully, be better, right? A hospital. It's not the case. Now, let's get into some of these payments that are going out right now, because there's a lot of payments. There's definitely a lot of payments going out right now. A lot of this is just universal basic income, or UBI. These are guaranteed income programs. And I want to show you these because some of these are, $1,000, $1,200 payments every single month. And I want to bring these up because, and I've been telling you this for over a year, is that cities, counties, and states have a lot of money. And they need to spend that money somehow. And the best way to spend that money is to give it back to their residents. Their residents can then go and spend it within the state, and it will boost everybody up, not just specific parts of the state. So let me show you this, okay? It's a fairly lengthy list. It was actually done by The Sun. You can go to thesun.com and you can see this. But this is a pretty lengthy list. I want to read it to you though, okay? So in Alaska, they are going to get, and this is right now, it's just an annual payment. It's $1,114. It's for all Alaska residents. Okay, this is because of money that went out for oil. In Compton, California, 800 participants are going to get $1,800 every 3 months for 2 years. So essentially, $600 a month. In Long Beach, California, 500 people are going to get $500 a month for 1 full year. It started in fall 2021 and goes to fall 2022. Here's the reason why this is important. That means it expires in 2022. But the key is, will they extend it? Some do. So, would it be the same 500 participants? Most likely not, which means there could be an additional 500 people that get another $500 per month. In Los Angeles, California, 150 people ages 18 to 24, okay, will receive $1,204 a month. This will go on for 3 years. In Los Angeles, California, approximately 3,000 people are going to get $1,000 per month. It's going to start in 2022, this month, okay, and go for 1 full year. I do not know, I'll have to look into this one, if it's still open. I believe it's still open. The application process is still open. I'm not 100% sure on that, so look into that, okay? Go to Big Leap, California, stimulus, okay? And you can find that on Google. In Marin County, California, we know 125 low-income women, you have to be raising at least 1 child under the age of 18, will get $1,000 a month for 2 years. This actually started in 2021. It's going to go on till 2023. 600 people in Oakland, California, you can get $500 a month for 18 months. It's a year and a half. It started in the summer 2020, and it's going to go on for the full 18 months. So, again, keep this in mind. This means that as soon as this is done, we could see this get, extended. So we need to look into this stuff, okay? If it's already been done once, chances are it's much easier to extend again. 100 people are going to get $300 a month for 2 years in Sacramento, California. This is going to go on through June 2022. Again, remember, once it goes on once, it's easier to extend. This is exactly what federal lawmakers are fighting for as well with the child tax credit payments. 135 people are going to get $500 a month for 1 year in South San Francisco, California. Again, this is all in California right now, but we're going to be moving out of there very soon. 24 to 2,500 young adults transitioning out of foster care. This is something that we actually saw in multiple cases in 2021 that they were really pushing this. This has been going on since June 2022, and it will end in since June 2020, will end early in June 2022. It's up to $1,000 per month. Okay, it's up to, not every single person gets $1,000. Stockton, California, 125 people get $500 a month for 2 years. Okay, so it says it ended. Now I'll have to look into this one and see if there's a new one. I'm not sure why this one's even up there if it already ended. 115 formerly incarcerated people will get $1,000 for the first month. Then they'll get $600 for the next 11 months. Okay, and that's in Gainesville, Florida. In Chicago, Illinois, 5,000 low-income people. Okay, I've addressed this multiple times. We'll get $500 a month for 1 year. We do not know when it's going to start. Okay, this is the big one. This is a big one. In Chicago, this is very big. We don't know the start date, but it's going to happen sometime in 2022. Gary, Indiana, 200 people going to get $500 a month for 1 full year. This is going to run through winter of 2022. In Shreveport, Louisiana, I've been addressing this one as well. 100 single parents, okay, of school-age children are going to get up to $600 a month for 1 full year. There's actually multiple stuff coming out of Shreveport as well. So if you live there or close by, look into that. 120 people in Cambridge, Massachusetts are going to get $500 a month for 18 months. And this will run all the way through December 2022. Chelsea, Massachusetts, 2,000 people going to receive between $200 and $400 per month. And this is going to run, it's already running, but it's going, we don't know the end date. I'll have to look into that, see how long that one's going. In Lynn, Massachusetts, 15 people, so not very big. I don't know what the city size of Lynn is, but $400 a month to new moms for a child's first 3 years. That's big. That's really big. I think that's an interesting one for a child's first 3 years. And let me know if you're a parent, how hard was the first few years of a child's life? It's usually fairly difficult, especially if you're a single mom or a new mom, right? And a new mom, let's say it's your first child, chances are it's going to be more expensive and it's going to be more stressful. So $400 a month could really help out a family. In St. Paul, Minnesota, 150 people are going to get $500 a month for a full 18 months. This is going to go all the way through May 2022. This is something that we need to look at as well. Will they extend this? Or will they extend it to 150 different people? And will it still be $500 a month? In Jackson, Mississippi, right here, 110 low-income African American mothers. I believe the other day I said black mothers. The reason I said black mothers is because that is exactly what they say in the media. That's exactly what it was said from the county's website or the state's website. And I believe that's reference to mothers in Georgia. So yeah, I wasn't trying to be discriminating or anything. I know African American is the proper term. So if I offended anybody yesterday, I'm sorry about that. Also said white males. Somebody said say Caucasian males. So thank you for correcting me on that one. But again, that is what was said in those articles from the counties. So that's the reason why I did that. But in Jackson, Mississippi, 110 low-income African American mothers would get $1,000 a month for 1 full year. Now I'll have to look into this one as well. If these 110 people are being switched out every year, because it shows it was going through December 8, 2018, and it's still running, which is more than 1 year. So it's interesting to see what's going on there. In Santa Fe, New Mexico, 100 young parents that enrolled in Santa Fe Community College going to get $400 a month for 1 full year. In Hudson, New York, 25 people getting $500 a month for 5 years. That's big. That's big. It's called the Hudson Up program. Rochester, New York, 175 low-income families getting $500 a month for 1 full year, and it's going to go on for 2 years. It's big. 100 people in Ulster County, New York, $500 a month for 1 full year. That's going to run through spring 2022. Newark, New Jersey, 400 people getting bi-weekly payments, $250, and semi-annual payments of $3,000 over 2 years. Wow, that's a good one. 110 people in Patterson, New Jersey are getting $400 a month for 1 full year, and this will end in July 2022. North Carolina, the Cherokee tribe, every tribal member getting between $400 or $4,000 and $6,000 a year. Wow, that's a good one for if you're a tribal member. 115 Durham residents who were incarcerated in the last 5 years getting $500 a month for 1 year. It's called the Excel Pilot Program. Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, 100 African American women and 100 people of any race or gender, all from low-income zip codes, going to get $500 for 2 years. Nice. Rhode Island, 110 people getting $500 a month for 1 year. Columbia, South Carolina, 100 low-income fathers. This is what I was addressing yesterday. That lawmakers are trying to see, specific groups, specific, people within certain states. They're trying to be very specific with how they introduce stimulus into those economies. But these people are going to get $500 a month for 1 full year. 150 people in Alexandria, Virginia, $500 a month for 2 years. 18 low-income working families who do not qualify for aid, $500 a month for 1 full year. It's in Richmond, Virginia. And in Tacoma, Washington, right here, 110 people getting $500 a month for 1 full year. This is going to end in December of 2022. So, here's what I can tell you. There's a lot of stimulus. There's a lot of these different programs. And I know for a fact this isn't even all of them because I've covered a lot of different ones as well. But it's a pretty big list. It's a pretty big list right there. And the reason why I want to bring this up, maybe you aren't part of that, but the reason I bring that up is because if these renew, doesn't mean the same people that were accepted into the program the first time are going to get the payments the second. It's not going to work that way. In most cases, it doesn't because they've already received the data from that specific group. Now they want to change it or maybe change the location within the state or change their acceptance of who is actually accepted into the program because they want to fine tune who should actually get these payments. How is it benefiting them? Where were they a year ago or 2 years ago? Where are they today? So it's going to be interesting to see where we go from here. But what I do know, more states are looking into additional stimulus. So as they do, as we get updates on who's opening up these programs and when, I promise I will fill you in on those updates as soon as we get them. But that's what we know as of right now. I promise I'll come on later on today, talk about some other things outside of just the stimulus checks that either are going out or potentially going out in the near future. So just want to thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.